Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be featuring Escavalier, Walrein, and Giratina. This is an interesting team. We don't see a ton of Escav still. Occasionally you'll see them roaming around Ultra League, but let's see if this team is going to be working or it has good synergy. Here we got the Escav. Terrible matchup against the Gengar, so we immediately switch out to see what they have in the back here. They decide to stay in. We are chunking away at this Gengar. What does this Gengar have? Potentially has Shadow Ball, Shadow Punch. They go for the Shadow Punch bait. They get us to use a shield right there. So we haven't figured out too much information. This could be running Shadow Punch, Shadow Ball, or it could be running Shadow Punch, Sludge Bomb. So we decided to show that first one, and then we did force out a Trevenant. This Trevenant here did catch a Dragon Claw, which is good for them. And let's see if we're going to be able to get to this Shadow Sneak, which indeed we do. We're going to throw the Shadow Sneak here. I don't think this KOs. Let's find out. They decide to shield, so we can't find out. They are down 2 shields though, which is good for us. They CMP tied versus our next Dragon Claw. And let's see what they end up using. Seed Bomb here, just enough to take out that Giratina. We're going to come in with the Walrein here. The idea is to probably farm it down and just get a bunch of energy for whatever's in the back. This is potentially a Shadow Ball. We can tank it. We decided that the shield is more valuable for the backline than shielding a Shadow Ball that we can survive. So we have a ton of energy right now. The energy can be used towards that Gengar, or it can be used towards an Escav. So they also brought in their own Escav. This Escav is going to be taking neutral Earthquake right here. Almost half health. We immediately switch out. They immediately switch out. And here, they're doing a great job of waiting until we get to the move to throw a move. Could this be a Shadow Ball? It ends up being a Shadow Punch. So we kind of just banked on them running Shadow Punch and Sludge Bomb. So here we decided to shield to try to preserve the health of this Escav because we need it to be healthy enough to force out some energy from that opposing Escav. Really good counting by my opponent and forcing us to CMP tie there. Here, our opponent gets to the drill run right when we get to it too. But because I think they have one counter advantage, they were able to use the drill run before we even got to it. So we know that they're almost barely dry on energy. Now it's just a race to these moves. We happen to get to the Icicle Sphere before they are able to trigger their drill run there. So down to the wire finish right there. GG's to my opponent. It's rare to see an opposing Escav, but I guess that's what happens when we run our own Escav. I've only seen a handful of Escavs being used the entire time it's been Ultra League, Open League. So we're going to go back into here. The team obviously is afraid of fire types in the front, and it's okay. It's okay against everything else. Ghost typing is also kind of an interesting lead to wiggle out of. Here, this is a kind of neutral matchup. This Ampharos is pretty tanky. Right here, we're trying to throw an optimal timing. We're trying to throw the drill run in the middle of the Volt Switch animation, which indeed is what we end up doing. And our opponent here is building up a ton of energy. Let's see if this is going to be a Focus Blast. I believe we shield here. Yep, we shield here because we don't want to take a Focus Blast. They end up revealing that they have Thunder Punch here. We are able to sneak in a fast move there. This is most likely a Thunder Punch Brodo Swing team. But these Thunder Punches are actually taking a good chunk of damage. So that's why this is kind of a neutral. Okay, so we go for the drill run here. They double shield. Are we able to get to another drill run? Oh, that was a huge farm down by my opponent. And we are not able to get to that last drill run there. That was a huge farm down by my opponent. And indeed, they do reveal that they have Brutal Swing. These Brutal Swings are super effective. And this should be another Brutal Swing. So this Ampharos has put in tremendous work right now. Not only has it taken out basically 2 Pokemon, but this now this Giratina almost has to use all of its energy on this Reggie here, because we have energy and we don't want to be switching to our Walrein just yet. Maybe the idea here is to stay in and wait till they use a move, invest a shield to keep the Giratina alive, and then go back in with our Walrein. Let's see what we do. Do we end up shielding here? No shield. Oh, and we barely survived. So that actually worked out really well for us. The reason we were thinking about shielding right there is because we needed an opportunity to reset the debuffs if we happen to get debuffed by this Reggie. That was my thinking. Unfortunately, we do get debuffed anyways. And oh, very, very clutch catch by my opponent. That was huge. Huge catch by my opponent right there. Catching a very, very inefficient Earthquake. They preserved a lot of health on that Reggie, so this is probably going to be a L. But let's see, what moveset is this Virizion running? We need to get to one more Icicle Sphere. Okay, so they're running Leaf Blade. Okay, so yeah, this is probably a Leaf Blade and Sacred Sword Virizion, and unfortunately we lose CMP here, so GG's. It was going to be a tough way to come back, but you can kind of understand their team. They had kind of two tanks, that Ampharos and that Reggie, to kind of carry them, and then having the Virizion kind of go crazy in the back. Maybe if we didn't get our Earthquake caught, we would have had a better chance, because we would have been able to unleash probably 3 Icicle Spheres at that Virizion before they get to the second Leaf Blade, but hindsight is 2020. All right, here we go. Interesting. We're going to have a Swampert in the front here. We're going to immediately switch out to see if we can draw out anything. Ice types, fairy types. Indeed, we draw out the Walrein. I don't know if there's a ton of play here. We're just going to try to do as much damage as possible. We're going to do all the chip, all of the charge moves as we can. We can survive one Icicle Sphere, I believe. This Walrein's going to be throwing their first Icicle Sphere right on CMP. We're going to let it go. There's no point in shielding this. This Shadow Sneak here is probably going to take it to maybe half health. Let's see. Okay, a little more than half health. So let's see if they allow us to get to another Shadow Sneak here. Okay, we're actually just going to go for a Dragon Claw for the chip damage. We're trying to force them to use one more move or energy. Okay, perfect. Because they are getting relatively low. So this is not bad. This Giratina did a fair amount of damage considering it was taking a lot of super effective ice fast moves and ice charge moves. And here, this is a no-brainer. We're going to come in with our Escav. No shield. No shield. And then we're just going to hope for the best in the back here. They end up throwing the Icicle Sphere. And then we know that this Swampert potentially has the Earthquake or Hydros. And let's see what we do here. We shield the first one. It would have been a good amount of damage. Here we decided to go for the Mega Horn just to either get big damage or guarantee a shield. Okay, so they end up shielding, and here the thought process is try to catch. Unfortunately, we did not catch a Hydro Cannon. Let's see if this is going to be the Earthquake. Ends up being the Earthquake. Okay, makes sense. And we know that they're pretty much energy dry here. And unfortunately, we run into an Obstagoon in the back here. So this is going to be a tough road to come back. But let's see if we can do some chip damage here. The only hope here is we do enough chip damage to this Obstagoon that we can farm down with our own Escav and then throw a bunch of energy towards that Swampert. Let's see what happens. Okay, so far this Walrein has done a pretty good job considering that it was taking super effective fast moves here. Let's see, we did get one little counter in. Oh, they go for the Obstruct. So this is telling me that they potentially have Night Slash and Obstruct. No. They have Obstruct and Cross Chop. Something like that. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they go for 2 Obstructs there? Or maybe they have Obstruct and Hyper Beam, Obstruct or Gunk Shot. Probably running a really, really weird moveset. Luckily, we do have one shield here that we can use, and because that we did get a fast move sneak in, we are gonna be able to get to this next drill run before they do. And GG, somehow, some way, we were able to come back from there. I don't know what. Maybe they only had one charge move on that Obstagoon, but it didn't seem like that's the one charge move you want to be using if you only have one charge move. But kind of interesting, they were running an Obstruct Obstagoon, and that ended up saving us. because they were only doing little chip damage and boosting up their defense, we were able to counter it down and get all that energy to throw back at that Swampert. So on to the next one here. We're going to be switching into our Giratina because it's generally a good safe switch. I mean, it's kind of a safe switch that we're most likely going to always go into. It can either kind of help us figure out what the remaining team is, or it can actually win back switch sometimes. This is not going to be one of those situations, I don't think. Look how much damage this Shadow Ultra League Stunk Tank is doing. That crunch did like 60% damage just off of one crunch. Meanwhile, we're doing about, I don't know, 15-20% with our Dragon Claw here. Here, they are able to get to another move, but here we're thinking we can outpace them to another Dragon Claw. So we're gonna bank that we can get to another move. They decided shield, which is interesting. We're definitely gonna be able to get to another Dragon Claw here before they get to a crunch. So here we're gonna force their hand to either use their last shield or win back the switch. So we'll take that trade. Oh, they try to switch right on our Dragon Claw here. Unfortunate for them, we were kind of aware of this and we are able to switch out into our Walrein. This Tapu Fini kind of is a problem for the entire team, but because they're down to no shields, we should be okay considering we did shield a Moonblaster and we didn't get debuffed. So far so good. We have to remember that Stunfisk is close to a move, and also our Giratina has a Dragon Claw available. So this is probably going to be a Moonblast. This Moonblast is going to, I don't know, probably take it to the red, which indeed it does. Here we were debating whether to go for the Earthquake or go for the Icicle Sphere and possibly farm down. We make the play of going for Icicle Sphere here and trying to farm down. Okay, so I think it ended up being the right play because we force out the Defense Deoxys. This Defense Deoxys is going to take chip damage from this Walrein, and then we're going to switch into our own Escav. We know that they probably are not going to debuff themselves immediately, so this is probably their Rock Slide or Thunderbolt, which indeed it is the Rock Slide. It does neutral. And then here, we're just trying to throw this Mega Horn on right before they get to a potential Psycho Boost. Lucky enough, the Mega Horn takes out that Defense Deoxys perfectly. So we're looking pretty good here. Like I said, the Stunfisk was very close to another move, and it's going to have to force out the energy right there. It does use the crunch to take us out. Here it's kind of a tricky situation. We're trying to figure out which one we want to go into here because they still have a Pokemon in the back. We're trying to farm down with the Walrein. The Walrein ends up simultaneous KO, and it ended up being the right decision because we were able to both simultaneous KO the Stun Tank and the Walrein, and then they would have to come in with their Tapu, which we had a Giratina with a Dragon Claw ready. So GG's to our opponent right there. That was a close game. Very, very well played on both sides there. That Tapu Fini was kind of difficult to manage. And it ended up being clutch that our Escav had the Mega Horn to take out that Ultra League Defense Deoxys. That Defense Deoxys, I'm surprised, wasn't able to survive a Mega Horn from the Escav. I would assume that they would have been tankier. Anyways, on to the next game here. Can we make it an even better set? We are already a positive set here. So, pretty good lead here. Let's see what they're going to switch into. They're going to switch into their Florges. Wow, Ultra League Florges here. This Florges is going to be running the Fairy Wind Fast move. Here, we're just kind of waiting for them to throw a charge move, mainly because we want them to throw the move first so we can throw one fast move and then throw a charge move. It's just a preference, and we know that there's no one move from this Florges that's going to take us out. All right, now it's just a matter of how much damage do we want to take and how many shields are we going to invest, because they do invest their first shield to try to preserve the health. This Florges is probably running Disarming Voice and Moonblast, I think. Okay, yep. In fact, that's what they're running. And here we're just trying our best. Oh, miscounted right there. Here we're trying our best to throw on weird timing, but also we're trying to maximize as much energy. We end up double shielding here. And here, we just got way too greedy for this situation. There's no need to try to farm that down. We had 100 energy, so, and we had 2 moves, so that was a huge mistake. Unfortunately, we used 2 shields and they win the switch, so we're looking like we're in a very, very bad situation right now. This is not looking good. We try to catch some kind of move. Unfortunately, they didn't throw out on the potential shadow ball. We're just trying to tank energy here, and this is GG's. This is one of those situations where they were able to win back switch. We invested 2 shields, and we just kind of miscounted. So, unfortunately, this is just a technicality right now. This is going to be a terrible matchup for this Giratina. It looks like they might even just try to farm this down. Yeah, they can survive everything here. It looks like they're just going to farm this down, and now they have a ton of energy to throw. Even though this Escav resist the moves. Oh, they throw energy ball to try to debuff, I guess. But even though we resist the energy ball, it took a good chunk, but we're not going to have enough energy or the firepower to take down that gelatin in the back. We just farm it down, and then we just kind of throw a mean mega horn here. This is over because they still have a shield, and our counters are doing nothing. So GG's to our opponent right there. Besides that last game, let me think. If we had taken out Florges with our Walrein, let's see, Giratina would have been facing against that Jellicent, so we would have had a chance. Check out this team, try it out, let us know if you enjoy it.